my name is Adora and I'm going to be talking about how to deliver an impromptu speech. So at my speech and debate club, one of the activities that we love to do is picking a topic, and we have to deliver a speech generally around 6 minutes in length with 1 minute for prep time to just say anything we want about. So because there's a slight choice of topics, I asked my friends to write down some topics, quotes, or questions, and I'm going to take a look at them and then pick a topic and prep. While I'm doing this, I'll walk through some of the steps that you might go through mentally, aside from, I'm so scared, as you begin to think about how to respond. So this is a quote: "Innovation happens when you're too young and inexperienced to know you shouldn't do stuff." So that's one of my options. Another one is the quote, "Thus conscience does make cowards of us all." Hamlet. Reference Shakespeare, I like it. Another one is chi-squared analysis in biology. And the final one is, "I have not failed 10,000 times, I have found 10,000 ways that will not work." So there's definitely a strong theme of innovation going here. Now at this point in time, I should be thinking about which one of these quotes is most attractive to me, what am I most passionate about, and also what do I have the most expertise on. So although I'm incredibly passionate about chi-square analysis in biology, I also know that I failed that test. So I should probably discard that. Not literally, don't worry. But I really like Shakespeare. "Thus conscience does make cowards of us all" could be a strong contender for what I'm going to talk about. And I also like the innovation quote: "Innovation happens when you're too young and inexperienced to know you shouldn't do stuff," as this meshes well with some of the stuff I've spoken about previously. So ask yourself, does it meet my two criteria, expertise and passion? Now, what happens if you get something that you know nothing about and you don't care about? Then you just make stuff up. But for the time being, I'm really lucky. Now I start thinking about, what are my opinions? What do I care about this topic? And what are some facts I can bring up? So let's say with the Hamlet, "Thus conscience does make cowards of us all" quote, because I really like literature, I can tell stories about reading Shakespeare, I can talk about reading Hamlet, I could maybe pull specific. I know that this quote is referencing plot points in Hamlet that I could actually talk a bit about. And then I could also use an anecdote from my own life. So if you know something about the quote, like the source, Hamlet, then speak about that, and then you also want to take stuff from your own life. Then you could throw in a historical fact or an example. So with this, I might start organizing my thoughts with Hamlet. I know that there's a moment when he actually really wants to kill his murderous uncle, but he sees that his uncle is praying, and he's like, "I can't kill a dude when he's praying because I'll send him straight to heaven." And then he's all, "Oh shoot, why do I have this conscience? It's making a coward out of me." Which is really reductive, but I can capitalize on that, so that's one point. Second thing, I know that in my own life there have been moments when I've wanted to do really gutsy things, but I've thought, I don't know if that's ethically right. For example, when I want to take a third sample at Costco, but I've run out of options for making myself look like a different person, such as taking my glasses off and putting my hair behind me so I look younger, then I'm questioning, my conscience is making a coward out of me. So I can speak about this because I feel deeply about it. And then I can come up with that third thing, which is a fact or a historical example. So I could say, in the example of the Iraq War, which is generally agreed to be a terrible idea, but at the time it was supported by a lot of people, then the French foreign minister stood up in the United Nations and said, "No, we can't go to war in Iraq." I could say that was conscience making a coward out of him. Obviously it was also really prudent and probably smart, but let's use it. You can always twist things with your own interpretation. So I have my three things. I have my anecdote about samples, I have the moment from Hamlet, and I have the war in Iraq French foreign minister dude, and then all I need is a timer, so I get out my trusty cell phone. No, I'm not texting, I just have a password. I have my stopwatch timer app, and let's say I'm going for 2 minutes the max, so I hit start. And I should use this quote. So there's a quote in Hamlet: "Thus conscience does make cowards of us all." It stems from a moment in which Hamlet, the main character of Shakespeare's play, is faced with a decision. Does he kill his murderous uncle, or doesn't he? When he walks into the room where Claudius is praying, then he realizes that to kill a man in the act of prayer would be to send his uncle straight to heaven, which is clearly not the retribution that his uncle deserves for killing Hamlet's father. This really triggers Hamlet to think deeply about what conscience is, what it does, and how it keeps us from acting. In my own life, I've seen really powerfully how my personal conscience has prevented me from taking action at various moments in time. Just like you, it's stopped me from saying certain things, from behaving in certain ways, maybe telling certain people what I truly think or feel. More importantly, it's also stopped me from achieving my goals, such as getting that third sample the day I went to Costco and really liked sourdough bread with butter. It was sitting there so alluringly, and I thought, oh my goodness, I know I've already had one, I've already had two, but I really, really, really want to get another one. And as I saw the other people lining up, I thought, but to do so would be to snatch a piece of sourdough bread away from some poor child who really deserves it. So my conscience made a coward out of me. In a third example, I know that during the outrage over the Iraq War, from foreign ministers especially, there was a lot of questioning about what going into war would really do. And particularly, a lot of this was related to the ethics of it. Could the United States really invade this foreign country when there was no attack on the US? And so the foreign minister of France stood up in the United Nations and delivered a really powerful speech criticizing the US and what it was about to do. That condemnation stemmed from conscience, and it's arguable that conscience made a coward out of other nations, although of course it was also prudence. So in all three of these examples, we see how conscience can stop people from taking actions, behaving in certain ways, or speaking up about something. And I think that as you reflect on conscience in your own life, you may be forced to agree with Hamlet that it truly does make cowards of us all. Thank you. So